Each year on Thanksgiving, many minds are drawn back to the Pilgrims and the Native Americans and the talk of them making ready for a harsh first winter here in the New World. But for the Christian, the deep roots of our Thanksgiving go back to the Old World, way back before the time of the Pilgrims, to a story that is as old as creation itself, to a 2 millennia old climax. It's a story that keeps going on into the present and gives meaning to our lives today, even when we're half a world away from ground zero of where these historical events happened, at a place known as Calvary. You could call it the true story of Thanksgiving, or you could call it the Christian gospel viewed through the lens of that often undervalued virtue known as gratitude. It opens up a few biblical texts we otherwise may be prone to downplay. So what is the true story of Thanksgiving? First, God created humanity for gratitude. We exist today to appreciate God. He created us to honor Him by giving Him thanks for the things that He has done, appreciating both who God is and His actions for us, in creating us, in sustaining our lives. And all of these things are fundamental to proper human life in God's created world. As he describes in Romans chapter 1 what's gone wrong with the world, the Apostle Paul gives us this glimpse of the place of appreciation in this created order. He says, although they knew God, they did not honor Him as God or give thanks to Him, but they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Romans 1 and verse 21. Part of what the first man and woman were created to do was honor God by being thankful. And part of what we exist to do is to honor God by being thankful. And therefore the numerous biblical commands enjoining this gratitude. Humanity was created to appreciate God, but as we've already noticed from Romans chapter 1, ingratitude was never far away. Second, we have all failed miserably in appreciating God as we should. In a book that was written on the subject of gratitude, we find a very memorable expression about the failure of the first man and woman and the devil before them, and their failure to rightly express their gratitude to God. This statement says, from all of our beginnings, we keep reliving the garden story. Satan, he wanted more power, more glory. Ultimately, in his essence, Satan is an ingrate, and he sinks his venom into the heart of Eden. Satan's sin becomes the first sin of all humanity, the sin of ingratitude. Adam and Eve are simply painfully ungrateful for what God gave to them. But isn't that the catalyst for all my sin? Our fall was and always has been and always will be that we are not satisfied in God and what He gives. We hunger for something more, something other, something different. Satan, this ungrateful figure, spawns unthankfulness in Adam and Eve, who pass it along to all of us, because as sin entered into the lives of man, it is something that has plagued man from that point forward, both before our conversion and after our conversion. We are unthankful people, and this is so painfully true. But in our sin, we fail again and again to get our focus right. Only through divine redemption are we able to grow toward a balance that goes something like this. Christians are thankful for all of God's gifts, especially His eternal gifts, and especially the surpassing value of knowing His Son, Philippians 3 and verse 8. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and as a result of His sacrifice, we have the hope of salvation. We should be grateful for all that God has done. Thank you for joining us today. Have a blessed day.